Here we would have a briefing session on the ensuing second tourism working group. I would take the opportunity to welcome G20 Chief Coordinator Sir, Sri Harshvardhan Shringla, Secretary Tourism, Government of India, Sri Arvind Singh, and we'll be having amongst us Madam Srimati Roshni Sen, who will be joining us virtually, Principal Secretary Environment, and the State Nodal for G20. We also have amongst us Srimati Radha Katyal Naran, Director G20. Now, with your permission, sir, we would request Shringla sir to say a few words to us.
Secretary and Radhaji will give a very detailed readout on the actual event that we've come to participate in. You're aware that as President of the G20, we are now in our 4th month. The presidency itself is very special for our country, because the first time we have been the president of this very prestigious body, which consists of some of the most influential and largest economies of the world. This is also perhaps the largest international event that India has hosted. And so from every perspective it is important. For us, the opportunity to host the G20 is very significant from a number of points of view. First of all, it enables us to set our narrative on the global agenda. Second, it enables to showcase our very rich cultural heritage and diversity, and to promote our tourism potential. So it is very significant that the working group on tourism, which is chaired by Secretary Tourism, has decided to hold its second meeting in Darjeeling district. So you are covering Siliguri, Karsham and Darjeeling in that endeavor. And I think, of course, if you look at the fact that the G20 has a number of meetings in many different sectors, it is also very significant that tourism meeting of G20 countries, which means that the top tourism representatives of some of the most important of our partners will be coming to Darjeeling, to Siliguri, to Karsham for this meeting. Will be able to witness for themselves firsthand the beauty of the hills, the tourism potential in terms of tea, in terms of the adventure tourism prospects, in terms of the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway. They'll have a very detailed exposure, or rather varied exposure, to what potential Darjeeling has in terms of tourism. So I think you can be sure that this will represent our endeavor to host an impeccable and uniquely Indian G20 meeting. We've got excellent support from the district administration, from the state government, and both the Secretary Tourism, myself, our colleagues have been here on more than one occasion to prepare the ground for this important meeting. We are also very happy that for the first time you will have about 10 ambassadors of G20 countries and invitee countries who will be joining us for this working group meeting. It is, I must say, very unusual, because normally they're just delegates, but we have very senior representatives in the form of their ambassadors who are coming down. But that also is a very, very significant positive aspect of this meeting. We are also happy that many of the local stakeholders, those who represent the tourism industry in this region, are also part of the meeting that will be held. And I think there is every effort to involve the stakeholders and also provide them with an opportunity to exchange their views and to interact with the foreign delegates that are there. I think needless to say, as I said, the program is an extensive one, very carefully planned, right from exposure to the tea industry, exposure to Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, and to the best that this part of the country has to offer in terms of its own tourism potential. Thank you very much for joining us.
So under India's G20 presidency, the Government of India is hosting
over 200 meetings in more than 59 cities, these destinations have been chosen to showcase India's diverse geographical and rich cultural heritage. Darjeeling, the Queen of Himalayas, and one of the prime tourist destinations of India, along with Siliguri, located at the foothill of Himalayas, have been selected to host second Tourism Working Group meeting from 1st to 3rd April 2023. The Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, along with the support of State of West Bengal and G20 Secretariat, is fully prepared to host second Tourism Working Group meeting. The meeting is to be attended by more than 130 delegates, the G20 members, inviting countries, international organizations, industrial partners, state tourisms and local tour operators. The meetings will be graced by Honorable Union Minister of Tourism and Culture Donor Shri G. Krishna Reddy and Honorable Union Minister of State of Minority Affairs Shri John Barla. Darjeeling is world famous for Darjeeling tea, which was given first GI tag in India in 2004. Tea tasting and moonlight tea plucking experience have been planned for all the delegates at Makai Bari Tea Estate, Kishong. Darjeeling is also known for Darjeeling Himalaya Rail, a UNESCO World Heritage Site declared on 5th December 1999. The delegates will enjoy toy train ride from home, India's highest rail station, through Batasia Loop to Darjeeling Station. A lunch is also organized at Raj Bhavan, the summer residence of Governor of West Bengal. Delegates will enjoy cultural programs like ball songs, tribal dance, traditional tappa dance, Tamang folk dance, chow dance, Indian army, pipe band and many other performances have been planned for the event. Morning yoga session is also planned at Mayfair Tea Resort, Siliguri in lush green sittings for delegates in coordination with Ministry of Ayush. The Ministry of Tourism has made all the efforts to introduce all our delegates to local art and craft at Siliguri and Darjeeling. MSME and Tea Department of West Bengal has organized art and craft stalls and do I it yourself activities to provide immense experience of local arts for delegates. And as well as at the same time we have Himalayan Mountaineering Institute Darjeeling will also exhibit their equipments at the mall road. The Tourism Working Group meeting the Ministry of Tourism is also promoting local products of West Bengal by handing souvenirs to delegates from ODOP list of items like wooden oil from Burdwan district, Dogra GI cooked fish from Bankura district, Banglashri silk pocket square from Malda district, Chitpur Atar from Kalimpong district. In recent years, adventure tourism in India is gaining immense popularity among both the domestic and international tourism. Therefore, the Ministry of Tourism has organized especially two side events on adventure tourism. The first side event is on adventure tourism as a vehicle for adventure tour operator for achieving sustainable development goals. Mrs. Gabriela Stobble, Vice President from Adventure Tour Operator Association, will be giving the global perspective of adventure tourism to the delegates, and Padma Shri Awardee Shri Ajit Bajaj, President of Adventure Tour Operators Association of India, will be giving the Indian perspective. From the local perspective, Shri Vikram Rai, founder of Vik Run Foundation, will be sharing his experience. A full-day event has been organized for industrial partners and Government of India to deliver tourism in the mission mode. This is a full-day event in which we will be covering various aspects of the adventure tourism like risk and many other things. With regard to increase Jan Bhagidari, a key element of G20 presidency, we have planning to have an exhibition at Mall Road, giving the basically we just want that every person who is present at Darjeeling should know what is G20. At the same time, just to boost adventure tourism, so we have planned an exhibition at the Mall Road which will be open from 3rd of April to 5th of April. During the first tourism working group we have at Run of Kutch from 7th to 9th February, we have 5 priorities: greening of tourism, digitalization, empowering of youth with skills, nurturing tourism, MSME, startups, private sector, rethinking the strategic management of a destination. All these priorities of tourism working group have been endorsed in the first tourism working group meeting, and at this time we will have more dynamic, more engaging and deeper discussion on these aspects. So these are the main two key deliverables of tourism working group: Goa roadmap and action plan for tourism as a vehicle for achieving sustainable development goals. And second is the minister communique. During this event, during this meeting, for the first time, we are introducing to all the delegates the Prime Minister vision, tourism travel for life. There's a mission already that global launch of life mission has been introduced by our Prime Minister. So at this time, we are introducing travel for life campaign in the second tourism working group. So envisaging Honorable Ms. PM's vision, tourism working group is aiming at human-centric globalization, a new paradigm of tourism industry.
So we have a series of 4 meetings planned. The first one has happened in February in the run of Kutch. This is the second one. The third one will be in North India, which we will announce after this meeting is over. And the last working group meeting will be in June in Goa, followed by the ministerial meeting, where all the G20 countries' tourism ministers will converge. And that will be the final meeting where the ministerial communique will emerge, which was mentioned by my colleague, and also the Mission for Life statement, the Travel for Life campaign statement on behalf of the G20 ministers. So this meeting in fact is very crucial, because this is leading us to building the blocks, the essential elements for the ministerial communique which will emerge from the Goa meeting. And now the 5 priorities have been mentioned. These priorities that were set by us to help in the recovery of the tourism sector globally, which was affected badly by the pandemic. We are seeing very strong signs of recovery in India, but there are other countries which are still not recovered, very well. So I think the agenda that we have set and the priorities will set the ground for stronger recovery in the world. And these 5 priority items were endorsed by all the countries, the international organizations in the first meeting. And in this meeting at Siliguri, we will take it further, where we will discuss key aspects of these priorities, how they apply to each of the different countries, what are their suggestions to take it forward, and how we should take these 5 priorities agenda forward as a part of the G20 agenda. We have tried to give the visitors, because they are important tourism professionals and high dignitaries, including ambassadors from many countries, to give them a flavor of the area. So they will be introduced to tea, they will be introduced to adventure tourism, and they will also take a ride on the Darjeeling railway, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So I'm confident that this G20 Tourism Working Group meeting will help us in the taking forward the substantive agenda of the Tourism Working Group, and also give an idea of the tourism products that this area has to offer, the unique tourism products that this region has to offer, and that will, I think, help the region to further promote and cultivate its tourism potential in the future.
We have Canada, Germany, UK, USA, Argentina, Spain, then Turkey, France, Singapore, Brazil, Oman, France, Australia, Italy, Mauritius, Russia, Nigeria, UAE, and Japan, then Korea, Italy I've said, then Indonesia, then from international organization, Bangladesh also, and from international organizations we have UNWTO, UNEP, WTTC, and ILO.
सबका full form है UNWTO is World Tourism Organization, UNEP is United Nations Environment Program, WTTC is World Travel and Tourism Council, and ILO is International Labour Organization.
Mr. Singh, if I My understanding is that you're trying to promote adventure tourism in the entire Northeast, right? So in this particular meeting, will you have delegates from the Northeast states? Because I have not seen the names at all.
Yes, yes. For the actual G20 meeting, of course, the Northeast states would not be there because this is a meeting of the G20 delegates. But in the side events, especially in side event 2, we have invited representatives from the Northeastern states to discuss adventure tourism. So, and what they're doing. So the delegates from the Northeastern states will be present. So, data at the local level and all is done by the state government. We don't go into, say, particular sub-state level regional data or whatever. Typically, the way if you go through the Ministry of Tourism statistics, we collect data from various sources, which is the Ministry of Statistics, the ASI monuments, and we get data from the state governments. So yes, the point that you are raising is, yes, the availability of data and the quality of data is an issue at the local level. And what we are trying is to help states. And we have already taken up a project to help states to collect better data. And some states have gone very, far in this. For instance, the state of Gujarat has set up a portal which you can go online and see, where they are actually doing, collecting data of footfalls or arrivals at monuments using sensor technology. And they have worked on it for 1 year. And we recently had a meeting in Delhi where we asked them to do a presentation. And that has liked by most of the states. So I think we'll move towards that system. But Gujarat is at a very advanced stage. But other states will also follow that kind of a system where they can have very good quality data at the local level. And that helps in planning. Because if you see an increase in footfalls, you know about the carrying capacity. You can set restrictions. You can also plan your accommodation facilities. You could plan other infrastructure, roads, other bridges, whatever is required. So I think we are moving in that direction where the quality and availability of data is going to improve in the state.
What is the biggest challenge for the industry and for the tourism industry in the country and beyond G20?
Let's talk about G20.
Sir, one question. Actually, sir, ये जो G20 का event आप लोग इस क्षेत्रों में रखा गया है, इस क्षेत्रों के रखने की वजह से जब देखा जा रहा है कि हमारा पड़ोसी मुल्क जो है, जैसे चारों पड़ोसी मुल्क है, बांग्लादेश है, नेपाल है, भूटान है, इवन चाइना भी है, इसमें चाइना का छोड़ के अदर्स जो पड़ोसी मुल्क है उनको ये इवेंट से इस कार्यक्रम से लोग टूरिज्म में कितना फायदा उठा सकते हैं? जैसे मैम ने बोला बांग्लादेश को भी इन्वाइटिंग गेस्ट में रखा गया, G20 कंट्री के इवेंट्स में जो विश्व देश शामिल है उसमें बांग्लादेश नहीं है, लेकिन बांग्लादेश को भी रखा गया, तो वायरस ये पड़ोसी मुल्क वाले कैसे फायदा उठा सकते हैं?
हमारे रीजन में इतना इंटरकनेक्टेडनेस होने के वजह से जहाँ भी पोटेंशियल हो वहाँ सभी का फायदा हो सकता है। और अगर हमारे नेबरहुड फर्स्ट पॉलिसी से देखें, इतना कनेक्टिविटी बढ़ गया है। बांग्लादेश से मिताली एक्सप्रेस लेके ढाका से न्यू जलपाईगुड़ी में ट्रेन आती है, तो डायरेक्टली बाय ट्रेन लोग आ सकते हैं। जो रिस्ट्रिक्शंस थे सिक्किम को एक्सेस करने में टूरिज्म पर्पसेस के लिए, वो भी हटाया गया है। तो टूरिज्म का पोटेंशियल काफ़ी बढ़ गया है जो टूरिस्ट हमारे नेबरहुड से आते हैं। तो मेरे ख्याल से जितना मूवमेंट है, जितना हम फैसिलिटेट कर सकते हैं, कनेक्टिविटी जितना बढ़ सकती है और प्रोसीजरली जितना हम कन्वीनियंट कर सकते हैं, उतना ही टूरिज्म बढ़ेगा हमारे रीजन में। और ये हमारे जो आपने इस इलाके के बारे में चर्चा किया कि ये जो रीजन है स्ट्रेटेजिकली कनेक्टिविटी वाइज ये बड़ा वेल प्लेस्ड है, तो सिक्किम हो या दार्जिलिंग हो या सिलीगुड़ी हो, ये पूरी तरह फ़ायदा ले सकता है अपना लोकेशन का। और जो मीटिंग सेक्रेटरी साहब और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ टूरिज्म कर रहे हैं G20 के, इससे ये रीजन मैप में आ गया, ग्लोबल मैप में आ जाएगा। इससे जो जितने भी टॉप टूरिज्म रिप्रेजेंटेटिव दुनिया के जो हैं, दुनिया के जब से सबसे इन्फ्लुएंशियल देश हैं, वो यहाँ आके फर्स्ट हैंड देखेंगे ये टूरिज्म पोटेंशियल। इससे भी काफ़ी सूचना टूरिज्म पोटेंशियल की बढ़ेगी। और मेरे ख्याल से इसका जो बेनिफिट है शॉर्ट और मीडियम टर्म में आप बहुत देखेंगे इसका बेनिफिट। और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट भी हो रहा है साथ साथ। जब G20 डेलीगेट्स आ रहे हैं, आपने देखा कि इतना इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इम्प्रूव कर दिया है वेस्ट बंगाल गवर्नमेंट ने, स्टेट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने। चौरास्ता में, मॉल रोड में, होम रेलवे स्टेशन में, बतासिया लूप में, चारों तरफ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की इम्प्रूवमेंट्स हो रहे हैं टूरिज्म के लिए। और ये अच्छा है, दिस इज गुड न्यूज़ फॉर टूरिज्म एनीवेयर इंक्लूडिंग इन द रीजन।
Mr. Chirindra, how difficult was it to organize this particular event, the G20 event in this particular region, given the lack of infrastructure? Was it a big challenge?
See, I did mention that Secretary and I have come here more than once. We have come with our colleagues from the West Bengal government. We have coordinated very closely with all our colleagues. We have been part of one team, whether it is the Ministry of Tourism, whether the G20 Secretariat, the West Bengal government or the DM's office in Darjeeling. We have all been as part of one team to organize this event. And I think, if you see how well prepared we are in terms of receptivity, in terms of arrangements, I think it is a testimony to the fact that we worked closely and cooperatively together in arranging, I think, one of the most significant meetings under our presidency. And I think, in many ways, everybody has gone out of their way. The state government, the district administration, the GTA, wherever entities have been involved, they have been very, very forthcoming in extending their support in whichever way possible. So I think we've got the fullest cooperation, not only from the administration, but from the people of the region, and I think that's important. People are enthusiastic. They're there to welcome the delegation, and I think that will make a lot of difference in the way this G20 meeting will be held. And I can assure you, it will be one of the most, as I said, significant, meaningful, and well-received meetings that you can have in our part of the country. But as far as meetings go, this is one of the meetings where I think we're happy to have the media cover a lot of the events. So please feel free to cover as many of the events as you like, because every meeting has its own requirements. But in this particular case, the Tourism Ministry is quite happy to have you partake in many of the activities that are planned as part of the G20, and we will have the PIB, we'll have the press office. Please be in touch and see how you would like to participate.
Sure.